time and time again, we see the manner in which the people's representatives don't work for the best interests of the people who appoint them. We see hooliganism in action in Parliament, even as recently as 2 days ago. The physical intimidation, the sheer disrespect. How does this feature with the foundational principles of parliamentary democracy, Professor?
Short answer, it doesn't. It is amazing that the elected representatives who are elected by the voters of this country come into office and then completely forget the people whose votes they have apparently humbly acknowledged. This is because in this country we have had post-independence constitutions after 72, which really have not conformed to some of the core norms of democratic governance. I say this because the 72 constitution, for instance, gave an unbalanced significance to the legislature, the National State Assembly. And they said the people are the political, they introduced the first time the concept of the sovereignty of parliament, which is core to democracy and to this concept of the social contract between the people and the ruler, was introduced in 72. But they called the people the political sovereign and called the NSA they called them the legal sovereign.
Right.
So consequently, they had an aggrandizement and enormous power. And we saw, and it's all recorded in history, how that destabilized institutions. That was followed by the 78 constitution, which turned the tables in a way and created a very powerful executive. So what has happened is, when people get into parliament, they only think of themselves as empowered representatives. They have no sense of responsibility to the people who elected them. They do not understand that they have come in to hold responsible office as members of parliament. All they know is, we have come into power. So it's a question of power as opposed to responsibility. So consequently, they think nothing of engaging in adversarial conflict in parliament instead of responsible debate and discussion. That's the role of a parliament. So instead of that, they descend to this, and then I am told, we don't know, we are not privy to it, how many of them have the qualifications to engage in debate and discussion. But even the people who do, quite often, don't do that in government, as we saw in the debate on the no confidence motion. It's a no confidence motion based on responsible information with regard to corruption in the Ministry of Health, the health sector, where we had won brownie points in the whole of South Asia for our performance. And then that debate descended into mudslinging. And at one point, the minister concerned turned and said, "Munta gahandone." So that's what we have created this through this process of a loss of any kind of sense of responsibility in office being replaced by the concept of power. So this is the root cause of it. And the cause of it also in this case is the many years of the executive presidency. Because the executive presidency in its current avatar is the concept that gives a sense of all powers in one person. So other people who have powers, be they ministers, be they members of parliament, are all exercising power rather than responsibility. So the foundation of democracy then goes, and that's what we see.